welcome to the TCR SOF Plus series here at the Hockenheimring Baden-Württemberg, as I believe they call it, although I don't know how many use the secondary name. My name's Howie Burrows, and I'm going to be bringing you some of this fantastic racing on this 45 minutes this evening, alongside Connor Weil. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm doing pretty great today, Howie. Even though I'm more of a dirt oval guy, I am pretty excited for an incredible day of some road course action.
You always bring in the dirt course ringers for these weeks. The Hockenheimring is home of the German Grand Prix. It's exciting, it's got its fast bits, and it's got its technical parts. Gets a little bit too much hate, in my opinion, ever since they got rid of the forest section. You sweep through fast corners at the start, take the blindingly fast parabolica, and then start battling through the stadium, which really tightens up and forces drivers to battle side by side. Lots of passing opportunities, lots of crazy dive bombs, and very challenging corners in these front-wheel drive machines. And lots of opportunities for drama, action, and excitement. This is a week of IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge as well. We'll be talking a little bit about that down the line for some multi-class. But we're ready first for the single-class TCR racing as we prepare for the qualifying, slightly unique format as ever, because we are doing lone qualifying out over 3 laps rather than 2 out on this field. Just trying to grab the fastest drivers from the last lap section so that we can work out who quite to follow along for a nice lap on this track. It's both tight and wide. It's weird, but it's a lot of fun, and it's one of the more popular circuits on iRacing, so I'm expecting some great competition today. So, your first impressions of this track? I know you aren't terribly used to it. What were your first impressions, taking a little bit of a look as we are about to drop on board with one of the drivers for their laps?
Well, something to certainly mention is that these hairpins, they are going to be a struggle today, as some of them are really, really tight, and I feel like the ones who bring in the Audis are going to struggle the most.
Very true, and the unique part about this car, of course, we talk about it every single week, is the matter of the brake bias, the front wheel drive, and trying to swing these things around the corners and get them out of there in one piece. See, that is how in a rear wheel drive car. I tried it in the LMP3 earlier today, and I found that even that wasn't making rotation. Getting these cars around here is an absolute challenge, I think. But you do get some nice opportunities where the track opens up, tightens up again, big sausage curbs on the inside, chances to cut, but also times you'll be punished. As we roll into the stadium section near the end, this is one of the last remaining parts of the Grand Prix circuit, as our onboard driver doesn't quite make the cut.
Ooh.
That's Nathan Lee. You do get 3 laps out here, so we'll give him another chance on the road. Looking at the driver lineup, it's interesting you mentioned the Audis. We do have 2 of them on the field. They might struggle in some of these, especially on some of these bumps, but there are some fast sections of the circuit, some high-speed straights, and 2 of them are figuring it out. But we saw last week that some of the Audis went kaboom over curbs, as nobody's quite making qualifying. Evan Adams also going off the track. What do you think the odds are for another TCR explosion on some of these bumpy sections?
Well, I can certainly tell you that the explosion rate is probably very likely, as especially with that first chicane, it's going to be a struggle to try and keep the car off of the chicanery, and the most important thing to think about is the car durability. Can they endure these curves while also keeping in close contact?
Taking a look here at some more Audi laps, trying to see if someone else will send themselves into gravel. This is Mark Mainpar. I'll get you the driver info this time so that we know a little bit more what we are looking at. Going to be fast down these straights, though. We do have Lucas Rella also running in the Burger King Veloster. Apologies for the shoddy transition. We missed him last week. I missed him last week. I do love this design. I love seeing something a little bit different come out. No one out in the Honda day, though. I believe it was Tanner Gruber that came out in the Honda last week, and we'll take a look at his design in a second. He's hopped back into the Elantra as this is Lucas Rella. I'm not quite sure these drivers are finishing their first lap or are just on the out lap. No, that is a finished lap. It's a 1:51.4 on the road. These times are going to be coming in thick and fast as we just pull out some of the fastest laps here on the run, but they get faster as the run goes on. 3 laps rather than 2 in this lone qualifying, so your mistakes are not necessarily punished quite as hard out there.
Yes, and Lucas currently holding the pole position. Something to mention about, I'm pretty sure you said he was in a Honda. I mean, they are better at low speed than the high speed, and the thing is, they are easy to drive.
Yeah, we're running a little Veloster this time. Tricky little car. Didn't spot any Hondas out in the field. It's Tanner Gruber who ran it last week, and he bought a crazy design last time, and he's bought it again this time. Oh! The green fade across the front of the car. We'll get a nice look at the whole grid, I think. When I like it. He always brings the unique colours indeed. Tanner's yet to set a clean lap. Neither has Evan Adams. If we just are able to get the cam on Evan's lap. Wiped out last week in this car at Sandown. The barriers are a lot more forgiving here, though. We could see incidents, we could see flashpoints. I hope for their sake that we don't see complete and total utter wipeouts. As JB Dejo, one of the other drivers on this field, isn't quite coming out for qualifying. We'll keep an eye on some of the times on the grid as we come around. Tanner Gruber had an off-track mistake on his run.
Oh.
Or at least let's try that one again. Tanner Gruber. This time we'll actually catch it on the camera. Incredible. I learn new things.
Oh, yeah.
I learn new things about how to replay things every day. New things every day. Oh, just that. That counts as an off-track. iRacing completely erases your time on the field if you do this. Another one here from Nathan Lee. Hate to put some of you on edge, guys, but Big Brother's watching, and Big Brother iRacing knows when you've been naughty in qualifying. Probably that. I miss that corner every other time I take this track, and I don't even drive it in front-wheel drive cars. So, you know, it's good to get them out of your system this early. Most of this track is 4 wheels detection off the circuit. We can return to live, though, where we can be catching Tanner out again. First lap, fairly compromised, so looking to try and beat out the previous. It's quite hard to get a feel for lone qualifying, so I'm doing my best.
Yeah, something to mention about Tanner Gruber is he currently sits 7th in the points and is not one of the drivers of the 6 who have currently won the past weeks, which you've mentioned to me before that you feel like the streak is about to end.
Well, there has been a unique winner every single week here, and the thing is, though, as you start to run out of drivers, you do start to run out of opportunities to get that clean win. He could do it. Anything could happen. And if you want to try and join that streak, the link is in the video description to join this league. These sessions are hosted, open sessions with no password, no restrictions, no league sign up. So there's some good-natured racing, and these guys have really got to know each other over some time. Tanner Gruber doesn't quite improve on this lap. I'd be slower, so I'd be slower, but not quite making that time work. I'm just trying to catch a few of the incidents as Bryce Allen, one of the drivers that I certainly remember from last week, probably just cuts it wide. These cars are understeering everywhere. This is very much a Grand Prix circuit, so these cars are a lot of fun around here, but they are definitely a unique challenge. Lucas Rella is locked in with his times now. I believe the next competitive driver that could set a time is Nathan Lee. There are 3 more out on the field. It's Evan Adams, Tanner Gruber, and Nathan Lee. But just trying to see if there's any way that there will be a catch. Is that a... Lucas is out on the track according to that. No, I don't think that's exactly true. ATVO is doing its best for me today. It's what we're here to learn. Okay, it's what we're here to learn. Nathan Lee with the 31.6 in the first sector.
Lucas Reller, he currently sits 5th in the points after being knocked down 3 spots after last week, according to the driver standings. Do you believe that with this pole position, he could have the chance for a bounce back?
I'd like to see any sort of dramatic result on the field, I think. And I think any swing inside a championship this open would be appreciated. I don't think Nathan's going to actually make this lap in time. We have 7 seconds to go until the session closes. He is pushing. But this is just going to miss the mark, and I think he knew it. And looking at the time on the board, it almost looks a bit as if probably wasn't going to compare to his absolute best. So that locks in our grid for the race. Just pulling up the results now. We have Lucas Reller starting P1 for 154. Bryce Allen right alongside Nathan Lee and Mark Main par behind. Evan Adams in 5th and Tanner Gruber from 6th. Not quite getting a clean qualifying lap down. JP Deju, if he shows up, he is in the lobby, but didn't that qualifying lap, will be starting in the final position on the back row. We have 7 drivers on the field today as the drivers just set up for their gridding now. We will give them time as ever. I'm the sort that likes to take the maximum amount of time. So, you know, I respect it. I understand it. Just trying to mentally prepare myself, much like the drivers out there in the field. Standing starts are fairly rare in the sports car field, but they are possibly the best part of the touring car series. As always, look out for those Audis off the front row. They can be electric, but a lot of Hyundais in the front with the exact same engine means that it's going to very much go down to reaction times. Almost locked in. Lucas Reller on the front row with the BK car. Bryce Allen just behind. And we are going to go green as soon as Barney the flagman makes it go green. That's the pace.
Yes,
that's the pace car. That's his name. iRacing gave him a legitimate name. Lights are on. And we are green. Clean launch from both drivers on the grid. Down the middle, Nathan Lee trying to make it 3 wide straight away. First corner comes fast, but Bryce Allen got the better launch. Side by side, goes wide onto the curb. That's okay, but I'm looking at Evan Adams from behind. They're going 2 wide the whole way down here. Alongside 2 Hyundais up in front. Lucas Reller trying to pull it around the outside, gets it on Bryce. That's giving Nathan Lee now the chance just behind to come in down from behind. Evan Adams not quite getting the launch, and there is an accident in the back. We will catch a replay of that one. That looks like it's Mark Mainpar down in the back of the row. We'll get an update on that one as soon as we can work out what happened to that. Just looking at the start reaction time. Lucas Reller did get the first time off the grid, but there is contact going into the tight hairpin for the first time. Tanner Gruber's set back. Lucas Reller continued to get in that run, and it's giving space for Nathan Lee and Bryce Allen to make the gap away. Evans still in it with a shot. We see some battling down behind the field. Close and tight start as ever. Get a closer look at that incident in a minute, but it's Lucas Reller running away in P1 just behind. That was Nathan Lee looking to try and get a good line, but these tyres are cold and he goes wide, doesn't cede the position to Bryce Allen at all. Oh, but there he's going wide again. He's
the
making mistake
understeer.
after mistake after mistake. Bryce is looking for a chance. These two have gone toe-to-toe before. Bryce all over the rear bumper right now. Still looking for a way in. Not quite ready yet. As we exit the stadium section to the end of our first lap. It's Lucas Rella on top. He's made the most out of that peaky Elantra. It's a Veloster, in fact. Easy to get your Hyundais confused in the field, but it's definitely the Veloster up ahead, the two Elantras behind, and Evan Adams on the chase for third position.
Yeah, and as we currently see, they are doing pretty well after that first lap, although they will have to be careful to try and keep that understeer out. As a dirt guy, you may want the understeer, but around here, you got to be careful.
These cars, you don't know front wheel drive until you've driven it. It's an absolute work of art. Down behind us, the Ed Adams under attack from JB Deju did make it onto the grid, just trying to sneak in behind. If you're not fully alongside in that hairpin, you're not quite gonna make it work out for you. But he's on the prowl, he's on the hunt right now. Sizing up that bumper, looking for a mistake. Tries to jump into the inside, doesn't quite outbrake Evan. Mark Mainpar is retiring from the race, it looks like, off that damage. No fast repairs here. We'll try to catch that one back as soon as possible, but we're to and fro by JB Deju's chase right now, right on the rear bumper. He does make it alongside, outbraked into the braking zone.
Yeah.
That's JB up to P4.
Very impressive. As we head down this stretch and into the next corner, can the guy behind him catch up?
You've got to play a little bit of long-run patience in these 40-minute races. I'm just going to catch right now. It's, I'm going to have to catch Mark Mainpar's crash, unfortunately. Is it the curb or is it an on-track incident? It is contact behind from JB Dejo. He has just misjudged the situation there. And I'm just going to have to, whoops. I'll deal with that one in a second, okay? Deal with that one in a second. Don't click the buttons that you don't quite understand. Nathan Lee has closed up on Lucas Rella's gap up ahead, it looks a little bit like, but the real chase is Bryce Allen. Nathan's made quite a few mistakes in the first 5 minutes of this race, but you gotta let that tilt subside. You gotta let that calm down just a little bit. You just gotta really reel it in. Bryce, though, looking to try and make a move up the inside. He does get the advantageous dive. Nathan giving space for that, but he's going to go for the cutback and just claim it back. Over. They're side by side. Nathan getting the better of it. That was... What a switchback. What a switchback.
Total finesse there. Total finesse there in all of the turning. And yet number 89 had way more finesse and manages to take that second spot.
Let's see if I can get one. I'm going to get one more chance, all right, to catch Mark Mainpar. Or I might not get a chance, quite frankly. I'm just staring right now here at Bryce Allen. There's a little bit of netcode, and that's Nathan Lee gone completely wide. He is going to be able to recover onto the track, but don't know if that's netcode. Don't know if that was just a mistake, but he just flies off the track, misses a braking zone, getting a bit sleepy. JB Dejo's climbed all the way up to P3, although could have been involved in some of that contact from earlier. They're not quite into penalties around here, but there we will take a look at it, and I'm sure we'll have questions to ask at the end. Our top three sorted out for now as the fastest lap is set by JB. He is absolutely on a chase as he flies across that gap on the inside. There is a limit. There are point penalties getting too many incident points here, by the way. You want to limit yourself a little bit. You want to cut it down, but they always sometimes say off tracks are a resource to spend in iRacing.
And as we look, we see that Bryce Allen is currently making a huge charge trying to get that next position.
All right, do I get one more chance to try and catch Mark Mainpar here without embarrassing myself? The answer is almost assuredly yes. Let's give it a try. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not behaving today.
Well,
I'm gonna calculate that one later. All right, we're gonna have to bring out the rapid fire calculator in order to work out how to play a replay. Something I used to be so effective at. When did my life all go so astray? JB Dejo within a second of the car in front. He is certainly looking to make up something pretty tight here. He definitely doesn't. He's not setting that qualifying lap a challenge. As we get on board with JB here, he's been blindingly fast. He's set fast laps. He has closed up the gap substantially. It was a second. Now it's less than a second. He has 7 attempts to go, and he wants to try and make this P2 on the road, and he could even make it a P1 at the sort of speed we're looking at. Absolutely hard charging. Down further behind, though, Evan Adams also is looking to make up places on the Nathan Lee, who has been making errors, so there is 2 real battles going on the field. Take a look at JB Dejo. He's made some outbreaks happen already. He carries a lot of exit speed in this car, and he's continuing to push all over the rear bumper. Doesn't quite get the clearance. He's going to try and go for a little bit of slipstream. You will feel it down the parabolica here. A little bit of tap to the rear, almost a tiny bit of contact, though. It looks like he's forced to back out of the exchange. Will there be a dive bomb attempt? Not quite. Going to back off the game for now, but he is not giving this up for even a second here.
They're going down the straightaway here pretty quickly. JB not giving up. Ooh, as they make an impressive straight down. Oh, they're going into the hairpin, and he's still on his tail.
Not quite the it's Bryce Allen and JB Dejo we want to be looking at the results from. That ends up quite a bit further down the field. The gap super short. JB all over the rear. It's now just any corner away, and he'll be chasing down that P1, getting slowed down every second he's behind Bryce Allen. That chase for Lucas Rella, it feels so tantalizing. It feels like it's just available. Ooh. He tries to dive left, tries to dive right. Isn't quite being made to happen. Still trying to stay affixed. It's advantage Bryce right now, but JB has that body language of a driver who absolutely wants to make this his own. Still not making it happen into the turn 1. Still quite a few chances on this track. You think he'll be here, or think he'll save it for the straight?
It's quite an impressive dogfight, although they can't be dogfighting forever, whilst 30 minutes is still a lot of time. That's still time that's ticking on the clock, and Lucas Reller continues to build that lead as they fight. So they got to end it soon, and they want to catch him.
Absolutely. Lucas will want nothing but the clear air right now. And now this is JB Dejo's chance to make the move happen. He's going to probably look to... Doesn't try and sneak it up the inside. It's a game of whether... that run is available to you. Doesn't quite get the draft he's looking for. It's going to take some bold moves now in order to try and really squeeze this through. Still just all over the bumper. He does get alongside now. Outside. He has the run. Just not there. He could be using this for exit speed, though. Bryce cutting off very nicely, putting his car in just the right places to be inconvenient and annoying. The gap now 2 seconds as he pulls in along, still not alongside, still trying to outbrake at every living opportunity. Just win attempt for a second, clears it, still not clearing, still not alongside. This chase is going to go down for laps and laps and laps and laps. JB Dejo, every single corner, he's trying to scare Bryce into making a mistake, trying to scare him, and that's Bryce forced wide. Just making a mistake under pressure. They're side by side. Better run coming out the corner with the advantageous inside line. He might just be able to cut this off for good, but he's going to pull in front first anyway. As long as he makes it through here cleanly, JB is down the road. He's been intimidating people non-stop, and that's the slowdown. He must have taken a slowdown penalty. He must have taken the slowdown penalty.
There was a penalty in the chicanes as I saw him go off the track.
Yeah, see if I can I'd like to catch that exact... I'd like to try and catch that exact slowdown. Where do we think he got it? I'm gonna hit that replay button as soon as I think he does. Because he makes it past over here, and then it's about if you take too much. It's about if you take too much at that first corner. To me, I've gotten away with that quite a few times. We're going this really slowly. You know what? Let's bring on the camera that can't possibly exist in the real world in order to study just how close he is. I believe you have to keep a wheel on that curb, and
I don't think he did.
As the back of the car says, holy mackerel, because that's the sort of thing you'll be saying when you get a slowdown penalty. But he is the faster driver, so I think there will be chances, and you see he's all over the rear again. He's eyeing it up. He has not done one bit. Price, well, should be thinking himself lucky, but I'm also thinking in first position here, Lucas has made this gap more than 4 seconds now. Absolutely perfect pace so far.
Indeed. If these drivers want to catch up, I think they should stop dogfighting and start working together, but in a racing league, that's just not how it works. It's all about the competition. And these two are dogfighting it out for another position in the standings.
As he, I keep wanting to get back to something, but this chase is still just too good. There's still a little bit of draft down these straights. These cars can be quite boxy. JB Deja within 0.2 of a second. I see that gap shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, but he hasn't tried to make an active move into the hairpin. I think he might this time. I think he might try this time. He is alongside. Will the car get turned in enough? Will Bryce be forced wide? They have both made it cleanly, but Bryce has exit speed on the outside line. Still chasing, still just absolutely hungry. JB is trying to really scare and intimidate. Tries to catch out the inside line. He's made out brakes in here work before. No contact. I can't believe these two cars aren't coming together piece by piece. Bryce still pulls out better. JB not done, not bored, not tired. Always, every corner's a chance. This one's a fast one. It looks like that car's slipping a little bit, maybe a little bit too much of the brake. Just trying to stick it around the outside. Still no momentum. Still no run. You want to be on the right-hand side, exiting these last few corners for the best round to start finish, and he is not going to have that gap. But that's Bryce running right onto the drag strip again. JB still not ready to take advantage. They're both going off track onto the gravel. There's going to be some penalties at the end of this race on points for these incident points. We'll be taking a look at how many of those quite kick off. Still all over the rear bumper here, JB Dejo. Bryce Allen has done everything right defensively, but you can tell he is not the faster driver. The one thing you can tell, he does not have that pace advantage. And JB still not getting it done. Lucas now has extended this gap out to over 8 seconds. Over 2 seconds more than when it was last time. Hey, it's 1 a.m. and daylight savings hurts me as much as it hurts everybody else. Trying to cut back on the inside, Bryce. It's a little block made, and that dissuades JB, but he's messed up the corner entry. He has the inside line. Last time this worked out, there was still more momentum from Bryce. He's going to need to clear this, and he's going to need to do it cleanly after the off-track last time. Try and keep it on, try and keep it going. I think Bryce is ready to fight back. Not going to make the opportunity now. Still covered off all around. I'm not going to take my eyes away from this until there's a gap of more than half a second on JB. He's been consistently faster, but this has been an absolute roller coaster ride.
One's
JB, he
faster, the
makes
other
it.
has too much dog in him.
He makes it half a second, and now the fight is on Lucas Rella. If he makes every corner around here work, I can see that gap just growing and growing and growing. It's 6 tenths. It'll be 7 tenths soon. It'll be the whole second soon. JB Dejo finally making it happen. Now, we actually see Lucas. He's not completely out of sight. More off tracks there being caught. Gotta watch that. League admin's watching, by the way. He's watching you, and he's watching your sins, and he's watching the mistakes you make, and he'll be coming down with some divine retribution if you guys keep using that gravel. You've got half the race to go. They're a resource. You spend them wisely. All right, I'm wondering if I can be trusted one more time, and I know get the groans of the audience, yeah, with the crash. I can be trusted with the crash.
There we go.
There it is, and that is quite the contact. Can I is it the 1x from JB? I think it is, I think it is from JB. I can see this from one more angle.
That is JB.
I don't want to call it JB. I don't want to say you took out a rival in your chase for the win here, but oh, you did.
Ooh,
You spun him.
It was the Audi.
Yes, spun him. And now, and if the league points don't get you back for this one for all the off tracks, there'll be some words and there'll be some questions about it. Okay, we watch you from above. We know everything you do.
At the very least, the Audi did not explode.
The Audi took lethal damage. I'll say the Audi took lethal damage. I would count that as pretty close to an explosion. Looking at the gaps on the field now, JB hasn't closed in on Lucas Rella all too much, but he has made a massive gap on Bryce Allen, a few 5 seconds behind now. Down the road, Nathan Lee is next car in behind to challenge. The pit stop cycles will be coming in soon. Not too much strategy to these, but you do need to make the stop in order to refill on fuel. Some drivers will try to get out of traffic with that.
Are you sure there's no room for possible tire changes due to the fact that these guys keep slipping off the track so much?
It's an interesting question. The last time someone took tyres here, it ruined their entire race. So I'm a personal believer in no team tyres. Because it takes so long to change. It isn't Formula 1 when they get changed in an instant. It takes so long that you change those fronts. But it can just set you back a very, very, very long time. The wear compound very strong on most of the iRacing sports cars. Sometimes, though, drivers surprise me, and they come out with stuff, and then they reveal in the interview room later, like, oh, yeah, it was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan. And I'm like, okay. That isn't repentance for a penalty. That's Bryce Allen just missing the corner completely. This has set up Nathan Lee spectacularly now to try and make his P3 back. Bryce Allen's race could be going from bad to worse as Nathan Lee just in the mirror behind is going to try. 3 seconds was the gap made up on the last lap due to errors made around the track by Bryce Allen. But Nathan isn't against making them himself. We've seen him throw away a few early on in this race due to these errors. And
something to mention is that Nathan Lee and Bryce Allen are very close to each other in the point standings. So a podium here could potentially shake up those point standings.
I think every position is going to count and every position is going to matter a lot. As he's within a second of time, we're going to be watching Nathan Lee very, very intently over the next few laps and try and look out for an error. And I'm going to try and make some of these throws. And if the timing is bad, the timing is bad. As we do have a few announcements here on the Aeon Esports channel. If you are subscribed, first of all, we have a new league coming up that you can join right now. The Mini Stocks National Tour is coming in late November to late December. 6 weeks of mini stock racing on road circuits. It'll all be broadcasted here. There's cash prizes for winning. We'd love to see you all on. Just head to aeonesports.com, the top link in the video description, in order to look at how to sign up yourself. Easy process, free entry. I got that done in time for Nathan Lee to be right on the back end and going on the rear.
Oh,
You see,
here we go.
I'm a
It's
master
another
of what I
battle.
do. Hasn't quite made the dive bomb yet, but it is absolutely a statement of intent. As he still getting all over those bumps. We don't get to see the incident counts until after the race. It's just a limitation of iRacing. We don't get to know. But these drivers probably know what they've done. I believe it's a really low number that gets you your first penalty. 10x, which is very easy to get in 40 minutes. You should just look at me any day, okay? Get 5-point dot.
Oh,
That's
and
another
Nathan
X.
Lee
That's
goes
another
off
X.
track.
All right. Get out the clipboard and start writing down the X's, okay? We got this. Yeah, drive through at 17. I'm not even against the possibility that driver gets a drive through today. I've never seen it in this league. It could happen. And you do get a DQ at 20, plus another 5 points lost. But the thing is, like, iRacing's off tracks. They're okay on this circuit, but you do need, it's all four wheels off the track at certain points. But, I mean, these drivers are making some, I would say, uncharacteristic errors. I think everybody makes errors, but I've been watching them for a week or two now, and they've not gone off quite this much. This track is proving really, really deceptive.
Also very deceptive, yes. Do you believe that the points battle is also maybe influencing their decision making?
I don't know the culture myself. I think when I race in a few leagues on the side, and I'm a bit of a midfielder, and for me, every position's a position. If I'm not trying to win the championship, every position's a position, and I don't really think about it. I just think about, I want to get the best result I get in this race because that will lead to good things for me. But that's just in my head. That's just what I do. I think drivers who do calculate their points and do calculate what they're doing, they may see more success. I probably will ask probably at the end. You can drop that one in if you please. We've got quite a few to say to quite a few of these drivers. As we take a look on the timing tower right now to see JB Deju, who has gotten into distance of Rella, still not quite in that like attacking second, but he's so close now.
Oh, yes, he is indeed close. This man has been battling all day as he's making up heavy ground on Lucas Reller. Can he get that P1 position with 16 minutes to go?
This is where the pit strategy becomes interesting, because while you don't take the pit stop for tyres in this series, you may want to pit if someone's in your way. If you want to get out of their way and then do a good outlap in clean air, then when they do their stop, you might have the edge on them. They're both going into the pit lane. I was not expecting them quite to both do it. Now, pit stop times are equalized in iRacing, but your entry and exit can determine absolutely everything. As they both drop in to their box, they should be coming out of a fairly similar gap, but you can race people on the pit lane sometimes. Bryce Allen takes over as the presumptive lead right now, as also Nathan Lee dropping in behind, and it's Bryce Allen that's come out first. I think I know what Lucas did. A part of me thinks I know what he did. Is that engine revving? Is that engine revving because the car went up on the jacks? Is there a way of finding out? I didn't see any damage. He's not been damaged at all this race. But I also haven't seen the tyres change on that car. Last time he raced, I'm pretty sure it was last time he raced he changed his tyres. So, you know, that was a very unusually long stop. They don't do stop unless that was a 40-second penalty, and I know almost exactly what triggered this one. The one thing you can get a penalty for in iRacing, and I'll try and pull in a replay, and I'll try and see if we can. That is likely a stop and hold for pit entry speed. That is likely. That is likely the iRacing penalising, because the car didn't go up on the jack. It was around there for about 40 seconds. If you speed going into the pit lane, you're done. And Lucas Rella has. I don't even want to ask him about that. I feel like the heartbreak is just too palpable. Can I? Is there any way of seeing?
Yeah, here we go.
We won't be able to see the exact speed, and it could be a few miles over.
But
It's
that did look.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
That did look pretty fast.
If I can see the onboard of that, I can get the gyro cam. Cockpit's what I'm looking for, and we'll go back a solid 30 seconds in order to try and catch the speed. I don't know if we're allowed to see the speed. I think...
Yeah, I think we could barely see the speed.
No, I don't know. You don't get the speed on his dashboard. It's a shame. I wish iRacing would let us have that one. Unless... No, I know exactly. I know exactly how to capture this moment, okay? The miles per hour trace. How can you forget?
Here we go.
Is he a bit over a round number? I don't know exact lane speed. No, he's below it. He's below it. Going into
the...
No, that speed trace is completely wrong. That's the quick answer.
Yeah.
That speed trace was his live speed. Sounded to me from the engine though, like I think that's a pit lane. That's a pit lane penalty, and I think he sped going into that lane. I didn't see anything about the white lines going over, although that would be even more heartbreaking. We'll try and work that one out. As Bryce Allen and Nathan Lee are back at it again. I can't believe they're at it again.
Dang.
I look away for a second, and Bryce Allen and Nathan Lee are doing it again. We'll just briefly catch this one. Was this, this was pit lane. This was pit lane. So, this is all about your in-lap and out-lap. We see Bryce coming around. That's Bryce on the inside. Nathan getting the slightly better out-lap. That's his pass. Got to forgive iRacing netcode for that one. All right, that's just and we saw Nathan Lee going a little bit slowly. I wonder if he either just makes an error here. I don't think he loses pace, or whether he gets a slow down penalty. They do go side by side here, and
contact.
These cars do bump around a little bit. I'm not sure what quite led to low exit speed around there. Looks like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't see any evidence of damage. So maybe the thing wrong is it was just his something distracts him in the real world. Maybe his mentality. So many things. I'm speculating. I'm speculating. I'm making random guesses. I'm doing my best out here on this fine day. Nathan Lee, 2.6 seconds down the line. Now I wonder if I'm going to summon the ghosts of iRacing Pass by dropping in the second mandatory throw, because we have a new series dropping on the YouTube channel. Take a look at Top Split Weekly. We're going to be taking a look at some of the unique series around iRacing and catching you some of their Top Split action. And we'll be beginning with this weekend special event, the FF1600 Festival at Brands Hatch. iRacing do bring you a broadcast one of the splits, but we picked another one of the splits to bring you some of the racing. I went to this event in real life 2 weeks ago, and the racing was great, but it's too wet and windy to see anything. I'm going to be participating all over some of this, and I'm going to be taking a break from my back-to-back split racing in order to bring you the excitement of this heat racing format. Tune in. It's on the channel right now. So if you subscribe and you check out the live tab, you'll see it and you'll be notified the moment we go live. And of course, this is a weekend for IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge in iRacing. It's the GT4 and TCR multi-class 2-hour race series at C-Class. I'm not obligated to throw that one at all. I love the promo every time it's around. It's an absolute joy to bring more TCRs to this race. So rep your TCRs, maybe get bullied by some GT4s. Like, I'm not saying that we always have the best time of it, but this track is fantastic for multi-class. There's space, there's passing opportunities, it's a lot of fun, and it's also a great way to grind out some of that safety rating that you might have lost at Sandown against those brutal walls. So, you know, or maybe some of the safety rating you lost going wide today at Hockenheim. Race looking like settled down now, and JB Deju has absolutely been the lead of the pack in terms of pace as he makes 18 seconds down there. There was a battle with Lucas Rella going on, but we'll triple check what happened soon about that. His main challenger just about failed. I am going to throw to you to ask about championship standings at this point. Where was Lucas? Do you know? Get it for me. Check it like the Ferrari engineers.
According to the standings, Lucas Reller is currently in 5th place in the standings with JB in 4th place.
Oh, so okay, JB's pulling out a lead, people. JB is pulling out a lead, and Lucas has maybe himself to blame for that, but I've also lost races to pit speed, so you know, yeah, it's not the first time. Nathan Lee down two cars down the road is the next closest gap. With 8 minutes to go, it can be hard to make these sorts of gaps up. But we've seen mistakes, and I've seen mistakes define a lot of drivers around here. So I don't think it is over until it's over. My favourite oxymoron statement of all time. Not an oxymoron. It doesn't contradict itself. It just repeats itself pointlessly. And that's another very exciting sort of term to use. Just see if I can get this to work. Thank you.
And we also have some activity. And we also have some activity in the chat with Predict F Racing saying, "I hope Nathan's 8th headset ain't giving him issues."
I've not heard about Nathan's headset. So I get. You might not be here to ask unless he drops in at the end, because some drivers drop into the broadcast booth at the very end of the show when they weren't quite there during the race. He's been victim to all sorts of problems today, but some of them I've not really been quite able to work out. So love to find out more, and I'm sure we will be finding out more very, very soon as this race approaches its last few laps now. And Nathan Lee, the last one, really with the opportunity to make up a place. Lucas Rella is going fast back here, by the way. We'll call this out. Lucas Rella is going quite quick. The only problem is he's got 9 seconds to make up on Ed Adams, who has been one of the more anonymous drivers this race. But quite frankly, keeping it on the track is probably better than last week's mistake. So, points are points at the end of the day.
And you know, JB has had to fight all day today to get to that top position. It's very impressive how he's just managed to claw his way to the top with sheer aggression and precision.
I could call it aggression. Aggression is one word I would use, and knowing the drivers here, they have very great mentalities, and they will always apologise to each other. So I should stop making everything a blood feud. Look at the fastest laps on the field, though. JB Deju is the only driver that's gotten into the 149s in any session today. Nathan has gotten a faster lap than Bryce, but there's been a lot of off-track inconsistency with both. Lucas Rella with the second best lap, though. That little mishap on pit road has cost him dearly. Evan Adams has struggled to find that pace throughout the race. Every week, I come in expecting more from Audis. And here's the thing. I'm not actually an Audi fan. I drive the Hyundai Elantra because I just think it's the most fun car to drive. I get why it's overrepresented here. But, you know, I always anticipate the Audi to, like, do something cool. But I remember driving the TCR series when it was only the Audi. That was the only car you had access to. And now it's always activity's quieting down a bit. Hyundai gang have risen up, and I guess the strongest drivers aren't really touching the Audi unless it's truly advantageous for the track. That's what I like to believe. I find it a little bit abusive on the brakes myself. I find it a little bit unstable and skitterish, but it is also what we call a skill issue in this field. And every time I say I don't like the Audi, I get like 5-6 people that like come in and say you're bad at it. Not in terms that route, because the TCR community are too friendly. But they say you're bad at it, and I have to be like, yeah, I'm bad at it. Just put me in the Elantra and just give me like a baseline setup and let me go. That's what I'm going to be doing high-end PC. Watch me hit top half in the split by doing nothing but not crashing. Predict F Racing saying my boy plays in VR. Freeze mid-race. God, I play in VR. So if that's what you mean by the headset, then yeah. If it's the headset giving him issues, then it's always the headset giving him issues. All right, the headset gives me issues just as much. Do you have any experience in VR? The answer's I probably know the answer, but I'm checking.
Yeah, I don't really have that much experience with VR. I'm personally not a fan of it.
Stay out of it. Not because it won't change your life. The racing's amazing, but you will be chasing tech issues and computer problems for the next years of your life. No, I can't race a single mortar though. I'd rather die. So you know what? It's about a 50-50. Like, I have to take racing with the shoddiest Oculus device that likes crashing every 5 minutes and likes crashing my game. But the alternative is I don't see anything, and then I'm hitting you on the inside of a corner and taking you out. So. No, I'll keep it this way. I'll maybe saying his. I will confirm the veracity of this question, and I'll confirm whether I'm being trolled, because this could be true, because it's so iRacing. But can you just for dramatic effect repeat out that first message from Old Navy 180?
Yes.
You can't do it. You can't do
it. I can do it. Hold on. Nah, it was his pants. I'm watching his personal live stream right now.
Pants fell off and got stuck around his ankles and couldn't full throttle. That explains why he went slowly on the straights. You know what? I was going to ask if I'm being trolled, but actually that's what's happening. That's actually what's happening. Nathan Lee has lost championship points to pants. I'll ask him about. We'll ask him about the accusations. Okay, bold accusations. You teammates are meant to stick together. All right. Let me tell you this: teammates are meant to stick together and not stab each other in the back. So let me tell you that last week in the GT3 Endurance Challenge, an Aeon Esports teammate ran out of fuel with 1 lap to go. I'll keep his name anonymous for now because I'd be ribbing him about it if he was here right now. So all I'll say is teammates are meant to look out for each other, but nah, y'all do it and I'll do it as well. The first time that bus is visible, just straight under. Gun! Gun! Would you throw your teammates under the bus?
I don't know, man. Just depends on what day they're treating me. Also, Predict F Racing says, hard to press the pedals when your pants are around your ankle.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault it. But we will have fierce competition with each other. I mean, like, I like to say I've got my teammates' best interests in mind, but like, there's quite a few caveats. You know, I arranged us to run Petit Le Mans. Aeon Esports claiming a class win, by the way. I think I bragged about that last week, so I'll shut up now. But I was the slowest of all the drivers. I got everybody together. I got everybody into one room, and I let other people win the Petit Le Mans for me. So that's another off track from Nathan Lee, by the way. Where are you, Mitch? Where are you, Mitch Velker? Give me the penalty rap sheet at the end of today. I might even be able to grab the penalty rap sheet shortly after this race. As we enter what is likely... It's the last lap when JB Next crosses the line. I've not seen the white flag come out. So we're going to have another one on the road right here. As this pack settles down. But, man, this has been... Well... It's been a fantastic drive. It's been an exciting drive. It's been a drive with... I'm not going to say drama, because drama might be overselling what happens in this league, but with some questions to ask. With some questions to ask. With a little bit of an incident earlier on the race with Mark Rainpar, but... He has been a fantastic driver, JB, on the field. He's always been a threat every time he's come out, and he's doing it again as he gets ready to cross the line. Is this our first repeat winner?
This might be our first repeat winner. It's been JB all day as he comes around some more corners, heading to that finish line to get that W.
We've seen 7 unique winners in 7 different races. It was due to change at one point in time, and JB Dejo, He might be eating a points penalty for off tracks. We'll check that one later down the line. One thing can't deny, he's been the fastest and the strongest out all day today, and he's had to earn it on the track. JB Tejo with the flashing lights. He wins at Hockenheim.
Finishes in style with the flashing lights. Oh yeah.
A nice, clean is not the right word, but a nice, impressive victory with very, very strong pace. And everybody regrets that little instance. I do it to other people, so I'm not gonna rip, I'm not gonna insult. But Bryce Allen crosses the line in P2, and Nathan Lee down in P3. Evan Adams makes it happen, survives the run this time in P4. With a position he'd quite like to have taken from Lucas Rella, who'll be finishing in P5. And Tanner Gruber, further down the road, didn't quite get a handle on the combination, but respect to anybody that makes it to the field anyway, even when they're having a bad day. We're having more people ribbing Nathan's pants, by the way. The whole team has dropped in the chat to make fun of Nathan's pants, so I'm sure we will get there. But that is our pack along the road. And a race that really did boil over and erupt. As we get the final results on the grid now, and then we'll see if we can talk to some of the drivers. Our winner, JB Dejo, by 26 seconds. Fastest on the road. A little bit of contact on lap 1, but still beats everybody else along the way to a very clean and dominating victory. Bryce Allen in P2 and Nathan Lee in P3. A tough battle. Could only go one way, and Nathan's pants weren't quite ready to claim that silver medal. Evan Adams in P4. Lucas Rella, big surprise, in P5 with the calamity on pit lane. Tanner Gruber in P6. And Mark Mainpar, who did not finish after an on-track collision. Now, I don't have the power to beckon these drivers to come in, but I would quite like for them to start making their way. There's plenty of space, people. Can one of you bring in Nathan? Bring him in. Bring him in. I got things to say to JB. I got things to say to everyone. I don't have the power to drag people. So hold up. I'm going to use the forcible power of the act here. Bring them in. Bring them in. You gotta sometimes call on desperate measures.
Indeed.
We'll review some of the race highlights while we wait for everybody to, as I would say in all caps, bring them in. They're all dropping into the wrong channel. It's a calamity. They'll work it out. And until then, let's take a look at some of these race highlights. As that's what we where we wanna start from.
There
the green
go.
flag moment across the line. Here they come. All it took was a little bit of beckoning. So while I just mute this game so we can hear the most out of our lovely drivers, I'm gonna first of all invite our race winner, JB Deju. I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. Let's have a chat. Hello, JB.
Hi,
Hey.
how are you, Howie?
Very, very exciting racing. Very, very dominating win in terms of pace. Although we'll talk about what happens to some other drivers in a minute. Fun battles out there.
Yeah, I felt terrible the whole race. I killed Mark at the very first lap. He stopped. I wasn't expecting him to do what he did, but still I was behind him and I punted him and he went in the wall and then he ended up having to quit out because he had killed his car. I felt terrible the whole race. But so I'm sorry, Mark, if you're watching. I owe you a supper or a drink or something.
I wasn't
But
gonna
yes,
be too harsh. but I was going to ask about it, and you got it out of your system straight away. So that's
Oh man, trust me, I asked the guys in the chat. I was harsh for a good couple of laps there. Then at the very end, I moaned a bit more, so I felt terrible. I really did. I hate that kind of stuff.
it was a mistake, and I know you guys get on very, very well in the league, but you did have to fight your way up past a lot of drivers, starting from the back. You didn't set that qualifying time. Was that part of the plan?
It was. I have not had a lot of practice, and I thought I had pretty good pace during practice itself, but I wanted to pass some people if I could get up to them, and just that's just more fun than just going out front and taking off and doing hot laps, I think.
We do love the exciting chases and the exciting battles, and the really this continuous battle with Bryce didn't make it easy. It took a few mistakes. I'm not going to ask everybody this, but I think a lot of people have some high counts. So would you feel like sharing your incident count? Because I think there's some penalties coming to almost the whole grid today.
I had 9.
And,
oh,
wow!
Yeah,
you survived
so
judgment.
I did, I just barely, and it wasn't in one spot. It was mostly in one, but I was like, oh man, not that. And then a couple more laps. Oh man, so
We did just catch on
yeah,
the replay you paying back a slowdown, but that's just the
I
that's
got
just
one of
special.
those too.
That's
Could add
a
one of those to
respectful
the
thing
bucket
to
for the
do.
night.
Indeed, but some great overtakes, some great chasing. We'll work out what happened to Lucas, but I think I have the answer. But we'll let him tell that story. Anyone
Oh,
else
he
you want to
will.
shout? Anyone else you want to shout out?
Oh, to Bryce, he gave me a good race. I enjoyed racing against him. And just to let you know, yes, my last name is pronounced Dejay.
Dejay,
So,
I have been. That's a butchering on a different level.
you know what? You are part of the majority when it comes to pronunciation. So, you brought it up, so I'm gonna say something. So, but I appreciate you doing this. How you do a great job. I watched the stream after the race last week. Really a fine job you're doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing it yet tonight or tomorrow. I enjoy watching them back. So thank you very much. Big shout out to you as well.
Thank you very much. Now, I will be getting to everyone, but maybe not quite in finishing order, because I think I need to ask about somebody's. Somebody's pants and whether the rumors are indeed true. Nathan Lee,
Hello.
hello. Were the rumors true?
It was true. My pants did come off metaphorically. Meaning I couldn't shift out a second coming out of the hairpin there. I don't know what happened. I lost all my force feedback. I'm just pinning it in second gear. So in that respect, yeah, my pants were blown off by Bryce there.
I thought I was being
Wow.
trolled. I thought I was being trolled, but it's actually your teammates just are so supportive
theory
that
has
they
been
share.
I really
They're
want to
so
play into it, but I
supportive.
couldn't do that to you.
They're so supportive that they share every single horrible thing that happens to you while watching along. I mean, that's what I call the mark of a strong and supportive teammate. But there were some good battles. Do you think you could have gotten him if you didn't have mechanical issues?
I would have been in front still. I was hoping to give you guys a good battle, but it was unfortunate not having that that run out of the hairpin there. That really cost me, and I couldn't get it back. But other than that, though, it's some good moments, and it was fun watching Bryce and JB race in front.
So actually, I don't even need to ask people their incident counts because the results are now finally through. Most of you got away with that. I can't believe it. Most of you got away. It looked like you guys were cut off the track all the time. Bit of masters of track limits.
Yeah, there's some pretty generous track limits, but at the same time, a lot of them I was getting some cheeky off tracks here and there. So,
all right. Anyone else you want to shout out at the end of this? I'm sure your team really providing the support.
Yeah. Shout out to definitely my team for all the support. I want to shout out my wife Paige for putting my pants back on. Very helpful, and also everybody else who's watching. Appreciate you all.
Good stuff indeed. Good racing, good fun. It's always fun to have you around. Starting to recognize people, starting to get to know them a little bit.
Man, thanks for casting. Appreciate it.
Very nice. Now, trying to get Bryce Allen in on the room. Wow, I gotta tell you, I was half expecting when I set this up as a stage that people weren't going to take the speak requests quickly, but people are taking them quickly. Hey, Bryce, P2.
Hi, Howie.
P2. I apparently Nathan was compromised by his fans,
Yeah.
but you drove a fast and good race to make it to P2. So let's focus on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I again, similar to last race, Nathan got me out of the pits, and I was like, "Oh, nice, here we go. We're gonna have a little battle." And then right off that turn on, what was it, Spitz? Yeah, his pants fell off. So unfortunate.
You have to really fight off JB DJ, which I'm
Yeah,
going to
that
keep
was really fun.
internalized.
Yeah.
How scared were you?
Oh, I knew he had the pace, so I knew he was gonna get in front of me eventually. I just wanted to, I don't know, make it entertaining and stay safe, and it was really fun. That was definitely the battle of the race for me.
Well, it was entertaining, and it was entertaining, and it was safe. I was half worried this was going to become a wreckfest.
Yeah.
But you did a good defense, and you made it into that P2. It's some good points and a nice result at the end of the day. Anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, JB and Nathan for some good battles there, and then you too, Howie. Thanks for the casting. It's awesome.
Thank you very much. Now, possibly the saddest story of the day, actually, Lucas. Was it speeding?
Yeah, I actually went back and watched the replay right after, and it was a double. I was speeding across the line by 1 km/h, and then I knew it was close, and I panicked and accidentally tapped my pit speed limiter button a second time, and then that's the one I knew I had right away.
Your engine. I think you probably would have gotten away with that first one because there is tolerance, but you wouldn't get away with the second one. I mean, you were very, very fast out there. I love seeing the Burger King car, but unfortunately, it did slip to the back. Did you think you were going to make any progress once you were sort of relegated to the rear?
Maybe if people in front had made some mistakes, but 40 seconds is a lot, and while I had decent pace, I don't think I had enough to make up that much time.
I would look forward to seeing you do a little bit more of it because you definitely were very competitive. You have been consistently competitive. I love the car, and maybe we won't have a catastrophe ruin at this time. Anything you want to shout
out? My pit speed limiter button, really doing its job for me in quick succession there.
I mean, I've done it as well. Like I've lost races to pit speed, so you know what, it is absolutely understandable. Also bringing out the Velo gang, it certainly stands out from a mile away. So still enjoyed the race. Better luck on the final run of this season.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for doing this.
And finally, we have Tanner. This time I'm absolutely sure I got to everybody. I know I missed someone last time and actually would have gotten to him, provided he returned, and he didn't. So Tanner Gruber, didn't see as much of you on the field. Hard day.
Yeah, felt like I was kind of running my own race in the rear there, but it was a good way to learn the track. I've never seen this track before, so I know it a little better now.
I think this race is a lot of warm up at the end of the day, and also I would have probably been slow. There's a reason I'm sitting up back here. I respect anyone that puts in the effort. I love the striking, Alonso, by the way. Why are you bringing out all the crazy designs?
Oh, I mean, that's, it's the only reason I race is to, dress up.
There are probably people that do have that mentality. On the field. Anything else to report from back there? Because unfortunately we couldn't keep the camera on you for all too long.
No, not much action to report. I had an overly ambitious kind of lunge in the beginning and outbraked myself. I apologize if I hit anybody there or tapped anybody, but gonna keep on trying. Hopefully I can get some pace for the next race.
It looked 0x from my corner. I believe the only driver this whole race to catch a penalty was Evan Adams, and he's not, I do not believe he is here to answer for what he did. But a lot of people looked like they were cutting it all off track, and they did not quite. Any shout outs before we let you go?
Shout out to you, Howie. Thanks for casting.
Oh, I love what I do. I love what I do. I do my best. Well, thanks for showing up, and look forward to seeing you next week. Season's coming to an end. All right. Have I forgotten how to do his thing I just did with 4 people? So, wrapping up a long race with a lot of action and quite a few stories. How do you feel coming out of that one?
Well, that certainly was a very exciting race, and there was just so much aggression. They really needed to try and keep the understeer under control, but it was a good race, and now we're gonna see how it shakes out the future point standings.
Well, there's lots of races yet to go, and there's lots of weeks as well in order to days in the week and weeks in the season. Of course, make sure to check out aeonesports.com to sign up again for the mini stock series. We're so excited to bring it to you. It's going to be production quite like nothing else. And stay subscribed to see our upcoming races, including this series, plus more to come this week. I've been Howie Burrows. This has been quite a while. And thank you for coming along, and we'll see you